Hello, hello. Good morning, those of you who are having mornings. Happy Monday? No, Wednesday. Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yes, you can see this is going to be a very...
Thundercats! Ho!
Alchemicale just subscribed, you bloody legend. Jameson 19 wave, Jameson 19 bongo, Jameson 19 dead, Jameson 19 jump, Jameson 19 fire.
Alchemical, welcome in, and thank you so much, you bloody legend. You don't need to do that, but I do appreciate you. Thank you. Straight to a big fat cat cam. She's just skin and bones. She's just loafed up. Yeah. Early morning, James. Welcome in, Mr. Zinks. How are you? And Stardrop. And here but muted, but technically at work. The best kind of at work. Thank you, Robot Neko. Well, thanks yourself. I'm tired. I really want to go back to bed. But I have to force myself to do things in the morning, in the AM, as a means of helping to reset my sleep. So, lucky you, you get a surprise bonus stream. And it's gonna be scuffed as hell, because I'm gonna try to do some programming. Yeah. That's the plan. And we've got a kitty. Kitty, don't we? Yes. Not everything is about biscuits. Hi. You wanna come up here? Yes. Maybe I should just do cat cam streams and not worry too much about the whole retro QBasic programming. Yes. Yeah. I have a special t-shirt that I use to wrap my legs in as a kind of skirt, so Poppy can jump up and get comfy. Poppy, Poppy up. Yes? Yes, sir? Yeah? Yeah, yes up. Oh, is it difficult? Yeah? Yes? Ooh, well done, well done. She was having a little bit of trouble there because I moved a shelf, a table, so it would be next to the shelves. Here we go. Don't worry about this. It's just our camera friend. Here's... That's my headphones. Can't have you sitting on my headphones, Poppy. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Thought that laptop on the bed was a 525 floppy for a second. Ah, if only. No, that's my Dell convertible laptop. Quite modern. I guess at that size it's closer to an 8-inch floppy though. I never got to experience the 8-inch ones. Kitty, 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 kitty. Who's a kitty? Are you a kitty? Yes. Yes, you is. Oh, yes. Who's the kittiest kitty of them all? Is it you? Alright, this is the stream now. I want so badly to clip, I never got to experience the 8-inch ones out of context, but I won't. Do it. Clips like that are funny. Yes. Yes. He's funny, isn't it, puppy? I make this... How can we get Puppy on the screen? Can't really tilt this very well, is the problem. I can't tilt it any lower. How's the heat there today? Good news. Yesterday, it got very windy, and there was a brief storm that passed through. And it's like 24 degrees today. It's glorious. Maybe we can do this. Yes. Much nicer. We had 36 days, and then yesterday dropped to 23. Ooh. 36. So yeah, I guess we can do a bit of just catting. And I'm going to try and keep my voice high-pitched, because I think that Poppy notices when my voice is lower-pitched for stream and Zoom calls and the like, when I'm trying to project my voice, and she thinks I'm being cross at her. Yeah, but I'm not cross. I'm just trying to make sure people can hear me. I got a bump. Such an itchy kitty. Yeah, forehead scratches? Okay. Comfy? Hmm? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So how is everyone else? I appreciate some of you may be at work today and have meetings and things. Thank you so much for tuning into my stream. Sneakily. Stuff. Who's a kitty? She got really, really hot, of course, in the last few days. Doing good. Work is pretty light until January, thankfully. That's good. I'm waiting for a call back from a place I might be able to get a job at. But they were supposed to call Monday and then supposed to call Tuesday. So I guess they're also taking it easy at the end of year. Shut down. James laments his lack of life experience. Good one, thank you. Making good clips is hard. I noticed less people do clip shoutouts these days. Some people have gotten a bit self-conscious about it, and you know, you can't always control the clips on your channel, and you want them to be entertaining and short and punchy. Have you tried Atlassian? They seem to be our version of Google in workspace terms, also in how picky they are about devs. I have multiple friends at Atlassian or Atlassian alumni. I would say it's still an option that I might consider, but I also know that the workplace culture has gone downhill in the last decade? I don't know. It's not the amazing, super cool startup that it once was, unfortunately. It got too big for its boots and has adopted a lot of US corporate culture kind of things. It's still probably a decent place to work. Yeah, oh, you're getting down? Careful, careful. Oh, well done, Poppy. Well done. Yeah. Need to get a better stand for, or a holder thing for my tripod. Yes, that's the word. I think it's, this is actually a rescue tripod. I got it from the side of the road one day outside. Someone was throwing it out, and I was like, come on, that's a perfectly good tripod with phone holder thing. I don't have anything like that. I'll grab it and rescue it. Yay. One thing saved from the trash heap. Thing is, I don't think it's really designed to hold like a phone as a camera. The grippy doodad actually extends quite wide. I couldn't use it to hold the phone in portrait mode. So I think it was actually like a stand for a tablet that you could use for like music or something. Because it also doesn't tilt down very far. But hey, I mean, free tripod. Why don't we... That's how I got my first copy of Diablo 1. I found a CD on the side of the road, scratched up like crazy. Managed to repair it. Sweet! You rescued Diablo. How nice. So maybe I'll use this scene for the QBasic stuff. Played the hell out of it too, pun intended. Well done. And we could do with some background music, because I'm not going to be that entertaining. I don't have it as a source on this one. Let's add it. Kind of overlaps chat, but whatever. So yeah, what am I doing today? Well, aside from, like, forcing myself to be awake and set game, you looked up VBX earlier, saw a footnote that someone added TCP routines at some point. Truly is an undead language at this point. QBX, sorry. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I only ever had QBasic 4.5, which was the one that was bundled with DOS 6.22, and it was the interpreter only. So all of the stuff that I've made, including this, which I rescued from... Well, not even rescued. Like, I've carted around my old QBasic programs with me. Just like from computer to computer. And yeah, so QBasic didn't have any option to compile to an exe. And it was only with my attempt to make the game Struth, which you can get on itch.io, assuming itch.io is up at the time of recording. It was only then that I tried to use Microsoft QuickBasic 4.5, and then 5, and then 7.1, or QBX, to compile it to an exe, and eventually got that working, and it was a lot of hassle. So I'm not really super optimistic that we can actually get this to compile to an exe, because this has not been written in a particularly organized fashion, unlike my other game, because this was written when I was like 14, 15, maybe 16, I don't know exactly when I did this, but you know, I've got, right in the middle of the main file, I've got, oh, if stick 0 is less than joy left, then joy once left is 1. And then somewhere else I'm reading joy once left to see which direction to move the player. And then, you know, here I've got a bunch of debug stuff. And then movement, check water, draw a block. It's pretty impressive that I got this game working. But it's a bit messy. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to dust this off and make it like a proper game or not. But it's worth trying, because it's kind of nice, like, digging this old stuff up. I think I last used QBasic back when the line numbers were still mandatory. I think they switched to Goto labels at some point. Well, as far as I'm aware, and I could be wrong, as far as I'm aware, QBasic never required line numbers. They were always optional, and you could just do labeled goto. I think I have a goto here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. There's a labeled beginning. Perl draw menu. And you can see I even had a lot of hassle getting this to work with QBasic because I kept running out of memory space. I have this enormous warning text. Free array space is dangerously low. You may get out of memory errors, especially if the scrolling screens option is turned on. Maybe mixing it up with another basic interpreter. It was a long time ago now, yeah. It surely was. And yeah, there were a lot of basics. GWBasic was, I think, the other popular one for PC. I only really had experience with BBC Basic, which was a very good basic for those 8-bit microcomputers. Had a lot of advanced features that Commodore Basic and things didn't have. So yeah, if you haven't seen this, file not found. Ah, right. Well, we can probably rip this out. What I've done here is I've copied the game code out of the directory that I keep all of my QBasic stuff in, and I've put it all into its own stuff with a Git repo. So the first thing to do is actually modify it so that it will work, because my old system of doing QBasic things relied on a jqbasic.ini file at the root of the drive, because you couldn't otherwise determine what the current directory was when you were running these things. Kind of a glaring omission. I even ran into it when I was coding up Struth. Like, there was no get current working directory command. So I had to just basically assume that when you ran it, you were running it from the game directory. And I made a batch file that would make sure you were in the directory, like just hard code it. Which is fine, because I'm running this in DOSBox now, and I can be absolutely certain of the paths that are involved. Puppy, come hang out on stream. Yeah? Be entertaining for the people. I'm not going to be entertaining. I'm going to be doing nerd stuff. So what can we do? We could just delete this entirely. Yeah, okay. Delete. No? Delete. Yeah. And now we have to find... delete that. And we'll have to fix up this other basic file I've got called pomload, which was just the sprite loading routines. It's kind of interesting to look at. I'll show you in a sec. QBScript, exit batch, write current data stream file, read stream file in QBasic, profit. Yeah, you could probably do that. What could be more DOS than running a batch file to run your program instead of just running the game? Yeah. We're at peak DOS. So let's just kill that, and that will work. And then we need to open yep, because this also has QBAS any flag. Can delete that. And shader pom. Files there is. Apparently, Twitch uses inter font. It converted my arrow to a ligature. I don't think it's a font thing, Zul. I think it was actually, like, substituting it. But let me copy-paste that out and see if it does anything. Oh yeah, no, it's a ligature, all right. It's still got the 2 characters in it. Speaking of peak DOS, why is every DOS 6.22? Because that was the best one. Or at least it was the last one released before Windows 95, which identifies itself as DOS 7, the DOS that's bundled with that one. Yeah, Lemmings has some really good music. Let's see if this works. Illegal function call. Alright. We're up to the compatibility issues now, are we? So free, -1, -2, and 0, I guess used to be significant magic numbers. Crimes? What's a ligature in this context? Like a compound emoji? Or just an arrow? It's the thing in the fonts where they will use a different glyph for a series of characters. So in this case, there is a special glyph in the font for dash and close angle bracket, which just makes it render as a single arrow. Yeah, there you go. What Zul says. Yeah, languages... I mean, it's even used sometimes for English, where you've got... You've got things like FT, and it'll join the crossbar for the F and the T neatly. Things like that. So let's look up what the deal is. Oh, okay. File bus 7 QUIC help not found. Correct your help path in options. Set paths. Okay, we're going to have a bit of this to deal with for the moment. Executable files. Include files. QBX. QBX. I might actually fire up Struth to see what the settings were on that. Or maybe I can look it up here in the terminal. Okay, so that's in help. Okay, the arrow doesn't render like that in the mobile app. Ah, yes, of course. So we've got lib help. We've got... Can I look at the Struth QBX any? Yeah. Lib bin lib help. Okay, so it's probably lib bin. Can I get help now? I can. What would be even more useful for Hindi would be not having to learn all the double letters that don't look anything like their component letters. Languages are funny. So free returns several types of information about available memory. See usage notes for complete details. Okay, so 0, -1, and -2 are supposed to be valid. Oh wait, no, here we go. Remaining space in D group and bytes, error message, illegal function call. Depends on whether you are using near strings or far strings. So I guess we are using far strings. And I guess we could just remove it from the file? Let's just remove it. Oh wait, that was... We want to remove 0. There. Okay, good, good. Another error. There. And now we load the main game and we get the same error. Cool, but we can fix it. Hey. If this renders for you, star drop, then that's roughly what renders to when ligatures kick in. It's not exactly it, but close. So the way this game worked, I did have keyboard controls, but there's an issue with the keyboard in that I wasn't doing like a turn-based kind of game anymore. I wanted to do a more action game where you hold down the key in order to move and you release it to stop. The issue with that was QBasic buffered the keyboard input, so if I was trying to, well, we can try and move it, right? If I push right to walk right, I take one step. Okay, I'm not, that's right, it's Z and X, isn't it? Good old Neko. Yeah. So you take one step, and then you just start moving. It's not really suitable. How do I jump? There was definitely a jump key. It was working last time we tried it. But you get the idea. So I ended up doing all of these action-y type game prototypes I made using a joystick, because that could actually get me immediate left and right and up and down values without having to wait for the keyboard buffer to catch up. I think jump is the co-pilot key. I don't have a co-pilot key. They don't indeed. It's because by default, Hindley places a short A sound, or schwa, between consonants, and you need double letters, except sometimes you don't pronounce it, depending on the rest of the word. Double letters are needed to show the consonants are directly connected, but sometimes they're nice about it, and just remove the stem, vertical line, from the first letter, so they're stuck together. And sometimes they just use an entirely different letter, and I hate it. That's humans coming up with stuff for you. So yeah, I had a reconfigure joystick thing, and it's kind of interesting. I remember these numbers would fluctuate back in the day, but obviously because we're in an emulator and we don't have a joystick attached, it's just saying the value is exactly 0. So I guess you could actually make stuff that would detect if you're running on real hardware or not. Sounds just about as consistent as English phoneme pronunciations, yeah. So kind of my idea for what I want to do with this old game of mine is there are QBX libraries that people have made for actual proper games that will do input handling for you using more low-level routines. And I could maybe use that and add it in and see if that fixes the sort of core controls of the game. And then as a bonus, the library also has like graphics file loading capability. The sprites that I've made, I made them in my own QBasic sprite making utility that I made, and the sprites get loaded from disk. If I go star.star here, here's the sprite file. Out of memory. Okay. So you can't see the sprite file. But it's basically just lines of text. I don't know if there's anything else we can... Well, we can have a look at the loader file. I think I need to add replay gain to the Jazz Jackrabbit stuff. There we go. So like the sprite loading stuff was... It's in here somewhere. Load sprites. There we go. Somehow I've managed to hard code and copy paste this same thing over and over and over and over again, but with a slightly different array name each time. I think I actually had some sort of tool that generated this, because you can see I've got this load spur.txt that's just like that one file. But yeah, all the sprites, they were hand-rolled with my own crazy editor, and they're stored as text files with just a bunch of numbers that get loaded into an array. We could do better if we've got this library available. Yeah, they're bitmaps, but they're like, there's a special format that you have to use for QBasic to put sprite data into an array, and I didn't really understand it at the time. So basically my sprite editor would draw it for you, use the tool, like the function, to copy that little area of screen into an array, and then save it to disk as a bunch of numbers. Bobby, where are you going? Come hang out with us. But yeah, we could probably like replace that with GIFs and pings and things. I think actually probably just GIF, bitmap, and PCX is supported by the library. But whatever. Also, I found this at the bottom of the file. Like way down here. I am a man, watch me run, hurrah, hurrah. And although I could jump, I don't have a gun, hurrah, hurrah. I can run left and right, go up and down and put up a fight. Da 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 da. I can jump, I can light a sconce, hurrah, hurrah. But sadly I cannot do two things at once, hurrah, hurrah. Which means, unfortunately for me, I cannot jump diagonally, da 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 da. So I think that was highlighting my problems that I was having in game development at the time. What is that from? The tune, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the tune. No, like the words, I made it up. Yeah, like the words are related to this particular game because I can't jump and move left and right at the same time due to the keyboard buffer. The ants go marching 2 by 2, thank you. Like, I don't even know the name of it, but I kind of figured it out from the way that the thing is written. Format, shape, something. So let's see. I've updated this to actually be able to run, And I want to do that with git. So we will git status. Okay, yeah. Originally an 1863 Civil War song. Wow. Also, I've misspelled unfortunately. But hey, you know, I was young and stupid. I actually assumed it was British originally, so today I learned. Oh, you know, us Brits will happily claim ownership of anything. And yeah, the funny thing about the game saves is I think the save game includes the entire world data. So where's the save? Like, we've got a static file with a bunch of level data. But I think the save data, yeah, it also includes every level data bit. And there is a game, like an in-game editor mode, where I can write stuff to the screen. But check it out, you could also do it in ANSI graphics. Classic. My save file is just a memory dump of the whole game state. Pretty much! The Civil War was an early attempt at regime destabilization by MI6. I'll take your word for it, Stardrop. It's actually kind of interesting that I've managed to put little headers in here to explain what all of the values are. That's kind of very nice of me, past me, to future me. So surely it was MI 0.6 beta, yeah. So, can we, not this, because this is not the program, open Combas. Yeah, like I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this with the executable, because we've got the two separate, like the loader file and this. How does the loader work? Yeah, so we chain it. Like we do that, we load the sprites. And we've got all the sprite arrays defined here. Common shared stuff. This might need a lot of changes, I don't know. But then we chain it. So what does chain do? The program to which control is passed. It can include a path specification. See also, run, another way to transfer control to a program. Common, enables sharing of variables between chained programs. Okay. Can we chain into an exe? Programs running within the QBX environment assume a .bas extension, if no extension is given, and cannot chain to executable files with a .com or .exe extension. Right, so that's a big hurdle right there. Oh wait, no, hang on. Programs running outside the QBX environment assume an .exe extension and cannot chain to basic source files. So we can chop off the extension there, and it should behave appropriately depending on whether we're running it in the IDE or as an executable? Maybe? Man, I forgot they had in-app docs in that old IDE. It was the best, Zul! It was so good. Like, they dumped so much information about how to use stuff right there in the program you were using, because there's no internet, or there wasn't easy access to the internet. So you actually had to include documentation. Like, you know, you've got ASCII character codes just in case you need them. Is it F1? So there's additional hurdles, maybe. When you compile a program outside the QBX environment, the Burkle 71FR.lib library does not support Common. There are two ways to use Common with changed programs outside the environment. 1. Use the default BERT71FR.exe for DOS and OS2 real mode, BERT71FR.dll for OS2 protected mode. By compiling the programs using the option in the Make exe dialog box called exe requiring BERT module. Option 2. Use the BERT71FR lib by compiling from the command line without the /o option. So there's BCL and there's BRT. And we can't use BCL. But we can use BRT if we want to keep this whole chaining thing going. When programs use BERT71FR.exe or BERT71FR.dll, files are left open during chaining unless they are explicitly closed with a close. Note, the file names Burkle71FR.lib, BERT71FR.exe, and BERT71FR.dll assume that you selected these compiler options when you installed BASIC, emulator floating point math, fast strings, and real mode. If you use different options, see About Linking in Libraries in the Programmer's Guide for information on compiler options. I forgot how complicated this was. YGY, welcome in. Hello, hello. Nice to see you on during the day. Well, I'm trying very hard to have a normal sleep schedule, and part of that involves forcing my brain to do things in the AM. And it sucks, and I hate it, but we're gonna do it. How are you? How is your Wednesday or Tuesday night going? Gomitan, the accursed AM. Hello, hello, welcome on in. How are you doing? I am barely conscious, full of scuff, but I'm gonna do a little stream for people, and maybe we won't really accomplish anything today, but I mean, the real accomplishment will have been getting my brain into gear before noon. From experience, I can vouch that keeping the schedule even when you're on leave or not working is good for you. Yeah, but I hate it. I want to go back to bed. Can I just go back to bed? Chain is similar to run. The main differences are that run closes all open files and does not support data blocks declared with common. Of course. And differences from Basic A if you wanted to do Basic A things. Right. So it looks like there's two things we got to do here. One is using this BERT71, and the other is chop off the file extension. So instead of chain pom.bas, we chain pom. I'm still up before 8 AM even on weekends, otherwise I struggle to get up on Monday. I am awake in spite of my preferences, but watching this is fun. I like seeing people logic through problems. Well, I am delighted to have your company, Gummy. Wiki shout out. Multiple shout outs, why not? Gomitan is an animated trash mannequin on the internet who, yeah, better than this channel, who does cool streams, and you should check them out. Zul, I fixed your special shout-out, I think. Yes, that's the updated link. Zul streams on this new website called YouTube, and he's been playing the Star Wars Outlaw game. It's kind of nice. And Stardrop doesn't stream, but probably should. And does Alchemical stream? Shall we try? Yes, Alchemical streams. Ooh. I shall have to remember to go follow later when I've got my browser open. Basically, we're doing DOSember today. And, you know, you can just go to the DOSember.com website and find all sorts of cool people who are doing retro things this month. Me, I'm not doing as much DOS as I did last year, because we're currently in the middle of my Ultima 9 playthrough on Mondays. But I'm doing these extra streams partly to be awake and partly also to fulfill my DOS obligations. Yes. Yes, no, but maybe. Aha. Ah, right, I see. Stream 1, bit of a test stream. Well, that's how it starts. Like, you gotta do your little test streams into the void to get yourself going. So save this, and this should still work, and actually load all the sprites, and then chain into the game. Yay. What was the jump key? It should be this one. I was trying this out before, like a week or two ago, and there was definitely a jump. I know I can press Shift D to enter debug mode. Oh no, that's not it. I mean, it's added these debug things at the top, but there was something else I could do. Shift E? No. Well, we've got the source code. We can just have a look. There was a function called movement. So X or joy wants right, Z or joy wants left. Sorry for the buses and things going past. I really want the window open. Like, it's not so hot that I can't stand it without the window open, but we've been so hot lately, and it's just such a wonderful cool breeze now. I want to enjoy it. Jump. Okay. If in-string is backslash or joy wants jump. Wow, James. Wow. James of 1995 decided the best key for jump is backslash. Shall we give that a go? It's audible but quiet, doesn't interfere. Yay. Thanks for the SO. No worries, Alchemical. I'm always keen to discover people in my chat who are actually secretly streamers. Because oh wow, did you see that? We're like Ant-Man. But as the little song said, I lament that we cannot jump diagonally because that requires detecting two keys at the same time. Oh, we got it. We made it up onto the ledge. So that's kind of tricky. Nevertheless, we're making progress here. Can we compile this as an exe? Can QuickBasic capture key down rather than key press? Or is that what requires the other library? Well, I'm pretty sure QBasic didn't support it. The QuickBasic 7.1 that I'm using now might. Like, there might be a way to do it, because I noticed if we scroll down... Oh no, I'm just doing it in a busy loop. So I'm just busy looping and then checking the joystick here. But if we look up the help for this, I noticed that there's an on strig, either added or maybe it was in QBasic and I just didn't know. So you can have a callback happen when a joystick thing happens. See also event. So there's on-com, which I used for my Christmas tree thing, the Christmas tree decorating dealie. Callbacks in my basic? Shocking. Yeah, it's more likely than you think. I should probably fire up the Christmas tree decorating thing for a bit, like when I want to break, and we can have fun with that, because I made it for DOSember and Christmas. We need to give it a good run. But that's what I was using to process serial input, which was letting chat control the Christmas tree decoration. And I noticed that we've also got on key. So we might not need the library because we could set this up. An integer expression, the number of function key, direction key, or user-defined key. So it looks like they did actually add keyboard event trapping. But I still don't know if it's going to be stuck with the buffer, you know? Like, I don't know if this is just going to be a fancy way of doing the exact same thing I'm doing already. Is there a technical difference between COM and exe, or are they just options? Well, I don't have a lot of the deep, dark lore about this, but from what I've picked up, .com files are limited to 64K of RAM. And it's only with a .exe that you can use segments of DOS memory, I think. Which is like the DOS way of swapping out banks of memory in a way to let you have more than 64K of RAM. It's insane, the DOS memory model. Don't look it up. Certainly don't try and do C++ and stuff in it. Absolutely terrifying. The only thing I remember is .com files are structurally simpler than .exe. Yeah, true. I had a few fun things back in the day where, like, I don't remember what it did exactly, but there was a magazine article, and it told you, okay, you can use the DOS debug command to write these 8 bytes to a .com file, and then you can run it, and now you've got different colors on your DOS prompt or something, you know? It was pretty cool. So I think what the plan is today is we'll try and compile this as an exe, because that's really the main hurdle. If you want to get these things compiled to exes, you need to be on top of it, because the QuickBasic IDE is a lot more forgiving than when it is compiled. When I was building the Struth game, and these other 8-bytes, son, create a lovely toy called a fork bomb. Yeah, like when I was building Struth, I was running it from the IDE way too often, and I would add things that would still continue to function perfectly fine in the IDE, but when I tried to run the compiled exe, well, no, it wouldn't compile, because it was like, oh, you're using too much memory here, and like you need to split this out into modules, because like it still has a 64K limit of stuff, but you're allowed to swap in bits of 64K at a time. So you got to break your code up into smaller chunks, and it's a bit difficult to do retroactively. So I don't know what the hell I'm trying to accomplish here with this enormous messy code of spaghetti stuff that I did when I was like 15. This could be a challenge. But we can do it from the IDE, right? We can compile, make exe file. So, we might be exe requiring the birch module. A code of spaghetti stuff. New grammatical construct. Yes. We are made from star stuff. Software is made from spaghetti stuff. Code generation for 286. I think we can turn that off. DOS or OS2 real mode. Why can't we select protected mode? And actually, I forget which one is the good one. And we've got far strings. Okay. Actually, we don't want OS2 protected mode. That's fine, yeah. Runtime error checking. Who needs that? Can we make exe? Cannot find file. BC exe. Input path. Pretty sure it was there. .8087, was that 8086 with a math coprocessor? Yes, exactly, Zul. You just, if you need floating point maths, you add 1 to the chip number. Easy. But I'm looking for this bc.exe and I don't have it. Where is it? Ah. It's in a different directory called bin.b. Goes to get my permanent marker to upgrade my chips, yeah. Of course, it's in QBX bin.b bc.exe. Cannot find link exe. Did that work? Who can tell? Let's set paths. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe we can use a semicolon to separate these. I could be wrong. Can we make an exe now? Okay, either it remembered last time or it worked. Bin B, the extra B is for BOIOBNB. So that's made an exe in theory. Can we also open the loader file and make an exe out of this? Okay. Then is that going to actually work? The second extra B is a typo. Oh, let's leave it in. It stands for better. So it's made .exe files for us. It did say it needed that library that we wanted, so we might have to copy it here. Should we just try pom load? There we go, okay. But we can give it a pass, sure. bx lib bx lib. Oh wait, bin birch 71 efrexe qbx bin b birch 71 efrexe next bin. Are you gonna let me leave? Hello? Wow. Great game, Neko. Just trap someone permanently asking for this runtime module. Seems like a design flaw. Alright, we're killing DOSBox. Hello? We're killing DOSBox. Moody Mystery, welcome in. I am barely awake. How are you? What instruction set does it compile to? Is it plain x86 in DOS? I mean... Yeah, it's probably... We had that checkbox for like 286 code, and I turned it off. So I guess it would be using 386 instructions at best. Why can't I kill DOSBox? This is worrying. There. Alright, so burt71efr.exe was in the bin directory. Let's copy it over to the game dir and we'll see if that happens. That fixes things. EFR. I don't know what EFR is, but whatever. Turning DOSBox into a litter box. Yeah. I want to get Poppy on camera, which I'm pretty sure she's hiding in her little secret hiding place in a cupboard in the entry corridor. I swear, like she picks up on this voice that I use when I'm streaming or on voice chat. Where I'm projecting my voice a bit, and she thinks I'm mad at her, and I'm not mad at her. It just happens to be that I do also use a deeper voice when I'm mad at her. So we'll copy that to there. So now maybe this works. It does. Does it manage to chain into the... It does! We made a .exe! And it's going a bit quicker than it was before. Look at that snake go. Okay, but this is progress. I mean, look, I'm jumping. You might just be able to catch a glimpse of me hitting my head on the ceiling there. You also don't say, who's a kitty, as much when you're streaming, or when you're mad at her. That's true. Alright, cool. We did a thing. If we exit, we're gonna exit to DOS. Now, the directory here is a bit cluttered, because we've got backup files and BAS files, and now we've got exe files. And this isn't how I wanted, like I would do it modernly. Modernly, is that a word? For Struth, I tried to make it like compilable from the command line and keep your output files separate from your source files. But you know what? We're just faffing around here. Mixing them all together into a big jug is totally fine. We'll do that. Do you see this common.txt? That's a bunch of, like, that's a list of all of the arrays I was using for sprites. So I'm pretty sure that's how I was generating that big block of code that was loading them all into these individual sprite slots. I just don't know where the original generator is. So, okay, I will add that to Git as like a checkpoint. Git, and I guess I should add save1 to my git ignore, but it's fine. We'll git add save1, git commit save, git add this whole directory, yeah, sure. No, we want to ignore an obj file, don't we? Yeah, okay, we don't want to save objs, so blur.git ignore. Maybe save one, yeah. Commit status. Okay, that's better. Sorry you can't see my terminal window where I'm typing exciting git commands, but I don't want to faff around capturing multiple windows. Git add everything, git commit, exes. Cool. You need 3 separate regimes, build, out, and dist. Then you put your binary in 2 of them, and your symbol files in different 2, and you put your supports files in none of them, just to make sure none of them work. Yeah, like, if we go and have a look, because I've got struth in this exact same place for reference, I actually had a build and a dist and a gamedat and an ASM directory. So I wrote a tiny little bit of assembler for struth, which I then compiled to x86 assembler using DOSember, and it's 4 bytes long, I think. And all it does is it moves 4C to the AH register, and then calls interrupt 21 for DOS to just exit. And I named this HCF because it's Halt and Catch Fire. I was annoyed that if we go to struth, I probably have something in dist. Yeah, struth. So this is my DOS Game Jam game submission from earlier this year. I feel like this song needs dancers. Feel free to groove along at home, Stardrop. Or at work, wherever you may be. But if I quit the game, I made this nice little end game card in DensQuix's DOS draw program, which is very cool. Do I have it, like, linkable? I don't. Basically, if you want to come up with art like that, it is DensQuix thing, right? I am remembering that, right? Well, check out this cool DOS. So yeah, it's Doom style. It's I actually cribbed this from the end screen of Commander Keen 4 to 6. So it's ID software. And I made this in DensQuix's program, added it to my thing, and I was like, yeah, cool. Then I discovered that although this shows when I quit the game in the IDE, when I made the executable for whatever reason, QuickBasic, your end program call and what have you, they clear the screen. So no matter what I did, when I quit my program, it would show this and then clear the screen. And I was so mad. I was like, wait, I want to show the cool end screen like the other cool shareware games do. So I wrote this 4-byte assembly specifically to just brutally terminate the program as hard as possible and not give QuickBasic's code time to do anything else. Sonneveld, time for Exe patching, indeed. Welcome in, how are you doing? Everyone, Sonneveld, everyone. Oh, or hardy exit, I guess. Yeah, I can show you what I did. I compiled it to assembly, and then in my utils module I have halt and catch fire. So you go like dim ASM as string. ASM is these 4 bytes. Set your segment to that ASM code. Call that string as if it were assembler code. Like, it's pretty low level stuff, and it's kind of cool that you can actually just do that in the language. You don't have to patch exes or anything, you just say, I would like to call some machine code, please. I'm sleepy, I'm sure you can't relate. Yeah, never felt that. Good to see you. What I might do, because we've managed to make an exe from my old game now, which is a good milestone. What I might do is Xmas Tree. We can fire up the DOS Christmas tree. Mov AH4C int 21. That's the one, Sonneveld. Arshim Havok. I can't go on a break after all. Hello. Welcome, Raiders. This is perfect, actually. This is a nice distraction. Hello. Let me embiggen myself briefly. Hi! How are you? Welcome in. Happy DOSember. Arshim Havok, please have ye shout out. And Arshim is one of the creative geniuses behind DOSember. There you go, DOSember.com. You can check out the whole details of what we're doing this month. Good day. Struth, yeah, welcome in Old School J, and I am Tinderly, hello, that's a cool emote. Game Dev Jeff, hello, welcome in. So, I actually saw you were on Archim, and Witch Haven looked really cool, and I wanted to go raid you, but here you are, raiding me instead. Thanks so much, great. Now I have to do stuff. Hello everyone. If you don't know me, I am James Neko. I do retro DOS gaming streams, except when I don't. Like, for example, on Mondays at 7 p.m. my time, Australia, Sydney, that is, and 8 a.m. UTC at the moment, I'm playing Ultima 9, which is not DOS. So to compensate for this not DOS Ultima 9 streams I'm doing on Monday, I've also been doing random little QBasic, QuickBasic retro programming streams here and there. Inserts another coin in the Neko machine. No pressure to stream longer, of course. No, it's fine. I was thinking to take a short break. And we can kind of do that anyway, because what I was loading up... which screen was I on? Crimson Diamond, yeah. So what I've got here, right, is a thing I made specifically for DOSember. the DOSember Xmas Tree. So Xtree connected to DOSBox. So what we can do now is the tinsel command or the orb command to decorate this Christmas tree. Would you like to help me decorate the tree? We can do tinsel. You put in 2 coordinates, like for example C19 T10, and 2 colors from the right hand side there, classic EGA palette. Let's do 1 and 9 for a nice blue. And you can put orbs on the tree. Everybody loves a good orb. So orb. You sunk my battleship. Yeah. Dr. Yasmin and the G-Funk, last time I put this up, started battling each other with orb colors. It's really fucking cool, dude. Thank you! I am very proud that I managed to do this. So let's put an orb at K6. And we'll make it a nice cyan. And yeah, it doesn't do bounce checking, so you can totally do tinsel that is floating in the air if you like. Hello, Wobbin. Welcome in. How are you doing? I left it dragging for the cat. That is very considerate of you. Oh, it was you and G-Funk. Sorry, Stardrop. I was misremembering. There was definitely some Christmas tree battle going on. Because yeah, you can basically overwrite other people's orbs, and you could almost play a game of Othello with this thing. Like orb, 11, 13, orb. Maybe we'll put another cyan one at M16. It's pretty forgiving with the coordinates. You can do letter and number, or number and letter. But yeah, I was thinking to take a little break and get myself a drink, and then maybe like when I come back, there's this old QBasic program I have from like legit 1995, 1996-ish. I can't be sure exactly when I was writing it, but young Neko would have a habit of starting these cool game projects and then either getting stuck or getting bored and abandoning them for something new. So I thought it would be really cool to just kind of go back and revisit some of these projects from legitimately like 30 years ago and see if I can dust them off a bit, you know? Like I've got more modern version of QuickBasic now that can compile to EXEs that I didn't have before, and there are QuickBasic game libraries out there that let you do things like loading GIF files or BMP files instead of the crazy text stuff that I was doing. So it might be cool, you know. Like, and also the second reason I'm doing this stream at 9 AM my time is my sleep schedule lately has been fucked, and if I'm gonna get back into the workforce, I need that sleep schedule to be not fucked, and it would be a good idea to force my brain to do things early in the morning. So retro programming streams, yeah, great idea, Neko. Orb. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can put Imikat's orbs on this. They're a bit too cool. Oh boy, I feel you there. Yeah. You, in particular, Jay, I've noticed you have a very Australian schedule lately. I've been catching you in streams that you should really be asleep in. Thank you for the follow. Follows are anonymous here. Yeah, I think we can all relate to sleep problems. Trying to fix it, doing better, but then the heat that we've got down here is not helping. Up until yesterday, it was 30 degrees in my living room way into the evening because I'm on the top floor and all the heat gets trapped up there. There's no proper insulation in a roof. What can you do? I rent. So it's been a bit brutal, but then yesterday evening we got this wonderful cool change blowing through, and it's the temperature's finally dropped and I feel a bit alive again. Maybe I can get some good sleep tonight, who knows. Yeah. What will be the TTP for this tree? I am not familiar with that acronym, Robin. Time to presence. I've been going to bed between 5 to 6 a.m. and just can't get any sleep. It's killing me. Oh, it sucks, Jay. That sucks. I always get insomnia in December, but this is the worst I can remember. Well, you got to look after yourself. I mean, my therapist has basically suggested for this period at the end of the year where, like, no one's really doing anything, I am looking for a job, but I haven't got the job yet. This is the ideal time to do self-care and be like, okay, just forget everything else. You know, if it's going to take me a week of just trying to get better sleep hygiene, then do that. Even if it means I'm completely zombified during the day. Like, if I can get myself to a point where I'm actually sleepy at the appropriate time, that would be good. It's a constant for anything on the internet where a community can draw lines. Indeed. Oh, yes. Time to penis. Well, we do have orbs available. Everyone loves orbs, and you can draw things. So far, there hasn't been one. I won't blame you if you want to draw some dicks on this tree. It's for fun. It's for the community's fun. But yeah, I'm just gonna go get a drink and rest for a sec. I will leave you with some tunes. I think Stardrop is close. Stardrop made a lovely clip of me earlier where we were talking about 5 1/4 inch floppies and the bigger 8-inch floppies, and I lamented that I never got to experience 8 inches. So that's a clip to look forward to in the random selection when we get to that later. Maybe orbs in circles. Alright, I will be right back. Also, DOSember merch. Get yours today. DOSember.com. I should make the bot say, like, you sunk my battleship. Just randomly. James, happy fucking Wednesday. MP, hello. Happy fucking Wednesday to you too. I am awake. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I definitely need to run replay gain on this music somehow. Because the Dune music's really quiet, but the Jazz Jackrabbit music's really loud. I'm also awake, yes, but at what cost? Good workload winding down for the year, thankfully. Yeah, it seems to be some people are in a nice winding down mode, and other people have horrible end of year crunch time. It would be nice if everyone could just sort of average that out and we don't have to do crunch time. Honest, I'm ditching work this afternoon, calling in sick, got an email from my boss, and I'm fucking pissed. That is fine. That is good. You do that. Self-care is important, and screw the bosses. The bosses do not have your best interests at heart. They will claim work-life balance and flexible inclusion and accommodation of people's individuality in their presentations to the all-hands work stuff, but then the actual policies are like, no, screw you. You must work harder. Mem and I are opposite. I can't start big tasks at the end of the year, so it's light work, but Mem's work is heavy right now. The owner of this graffitiings had an orchiectomy. Stardrop, that is far too big of a word for me to understand at 11 AM on a Wednesday when I haven't had enough sleep. She said she created a job for me, email her boss and CC'd me in it. Basically she's saying she's giving that role to someone else? Fuck off! And what came to me is when balls removed. That's a good word. So I replied asking if I was meant to be CC'd, and she said no, sorry. Insult to injury. I would be fucking livid. Yeah. If you want to hang out later and we'll watch some stuff together, let us know. So you're basically meant to be in the dark until Friday when you have your one-on-one. That's so shitty. I hate that particular aspect of work culture so much, where like, oh, we're not supposed to tell people about this yet. When I announced my resignation to my bosses because I was fucking burnt out by their micromanagement, my immediate boss, who was the inexperienced one, I asked him, oh, so can I like tell people about it, or you want to tell people? And he said, oh, sure, I'll get back to you. And he got back to me saying, oh, James, can we not tell anyone? Have you told anyone yet? It's important that we don't tell anyone yet. We need to manage this carefully. Like, what the fuck? So he's obviously gone to his boss, the asshole dev manager, and the dev manager must have been like, oh yeah, this is going to be bad for morale that James is leaving. We've had so many people leave recently, and people are going to ask, why is everybody leaving my team? maybe the management is bad, and we can't have that, can we? So no, let's get James to keep it under wraps and make sure it's a secret until much later, and then we'll say, oh, by the way, James is leaving in a week or whatever. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to secretly tell every individual member of my team. I had a nice little video chat with them all, because I respect them too damn much, and I'm not going to be like this repetitive work culture where people suddenly leave and the only notification you get is a Friday night drinks invitation for their leaving farewell. Absolutely meant to be CC'd. Yeah. Bail on Friday? Yeah, why the fuck not? Work for other people, yeah, it sucks. 5 people on Friday nonsense. Corporate rituals that got created because one bad thing happened one time 48 years ago. Yeah. The corporate metamind just has these weird hang-ups, like obsessive-compulsive disorder. Like, yeah. Corporates, like, they have a weird sort of intelligence. It's not like proper intelligence, but like it gets embedded in the culture and the HR policies, and it just has to behave like this because that's how companies behave. Also, don't discuss pay. Yeah. So people don't realize we're underpaying. Someone quit at your work? Oh, sucks, why do I? Unless they were an asshole, but I think from the Q_Q, you are sad about this. One of the best parts of being put in charge of a team has been being able to manage the way I think is right, and they have been so awesome and responsive to it. That is awesome, Stardrop. I only got bad managers at that last 7th year of my time at company. And up until then, I had awesome managers who understood that their first responsibility was to their team members and shield their team from the bullshit from upper management. Instead of this last guy who was like, ah yes, my job is to micromanage people and performance review and do whatever the team lead, the dev manager says. This music is so inappropriate right now, yes. Talking about work, bullshit, and corporate culture. HR left everyone pay info in an XLS on the root of the company file share at one place. Oh. Actually, that could have been a deliberate leak, Game Dev Jeff. The music worse. How is it worse? Companies like the opposite of Gestalt intelligence. Gestalt is greater than the sum of parts. Somehow companies' collective intelligence is drastically lower. Yes. Other fucked up thing, I've been trying to be full-time in my discipline, winging university, but they say they have no money for that particular department. They reclassified my team leader and sent her overseas. Yeah. I used to work for the uni, and it was great, and I love it very much. Campus lifestyle is amazing. It is much more laid back than corporate culture. But unfortunately, my pay was dependent on grant money coming in. And eventually, they had to come to me saying, James, we're very sorry, but we don't have the money to renew your contract. We looked under the sofa and we found enough money to extend your contract for another 3 months, but then that'll have to be it, sorry. Oh, and they gave her 2.5k for professional development. Ugh. One team member has gone from being really quiet and apologetic to being super confident and involved, and it's so awesome to see the change. Nice! That is good. I've heard unis in Sydney have pretty nice work culture, this kind of nonsense notwithstanding, yeah. Non-profit, really bad time, understaffed. These assholes underpaid professional staff and casuals over 5 fucking years. Yeah. Yeah, it's that don't discuss pay culture that allows companies to get away with that. Alright, well, inappropriate music notwithstanding. Oh, and they only made 80 million yeah, last financial year. I think we've done a really good work with the Xmas Tree here. I will take a screenshot and I will post that in the Discord. Discord. You're not a downer, Empress. You're always welcome here, and we can all have a good vent at these things that frustrate us all. It is universal. End. And we can go back to our attempt to get my old game running. I can show off to chat what the old game was all about. So this is something I wrote in QBasic in like 95, and I was a young little Neko back at the time, so I didn't really understand that maybe you don't want to declare every single sprite as its own array in this massive list and have a whole bunch of random spaghetti code for joystick handling and debugging and checking water and what have you. Maybe it's better to organize your code a bit better. But it was still working. Like, it was still a game that didn't like have a win condition or an end condition or anything, or fleshed out levels. But you could move this little guy around, and there were baddies and different rooms. And I kind of want to see if I can fix it up a bit as part of the DOSember celebrations with some modern library code. Are you able to discuss the non-profit OpenAI? Elon Musk is upset that CEO Sam Altman changed his share into for-profit. Yeah, I don't know much about what's happening with OpenAI, other than they used to be all like, yeah, we're totally open, here's all of our models. And then like, oh, we're not releasing this model for ChatGPT, and we're just going to keep that one secret. But we're still called OpenAI. I know they're making money hand over fist because every single company out there wants to make their own embedded AI thing. And to do that, they're basically just putting a very thin wrapper over ChatGPT and calling it a day. If I moved to Europe, I'd probably go to Scandinavia too. Yes. I'm just like ready to kill a bitch, but I can't because professionalism. Well, that's why you become a professional killer, Empress Bell, because then you can be professional and also kill a bitch. Traveling there was the greatest single experience in my life. Aura. Delicious spaghetti, yes. Like, honestly, Gomi, like, as much as the old code of mine is terrible by my modern standards, I am also the type of person who loves to dive into legacy projects. The last two major projects I worked on were extensively legacy code from like 20 years ago that had just been built up layers and layers of cruft on top of each other. And I've kind of become the guy, like, you know, the go-to guy for diving into terrifying, messy spaghetti code. So it's kind of fitting that today I'm going into my own terrifying old legacy spaghetti code. The guy at the bottom has zoomies. Yeah, the game is running a bit quicker than it did back on my old 25 megahertz 386. It's really cool. I love all QBasic projects. I still have all mine. Yeah, old school Jay. I have lost a bunch of files over the years, but I'm glad that I made sure to keep copying my old QBasic projects from machine to machine that I did. Seasonal depressions during summer. Well, I know I do, because it gets so fucking hot and I can't fucking do anything. Solar-powered air conditioning keeps me sane, and the 8 months of the year, it's not my ideal temperature. Just being in the snow is like next level. Photos on my Instagram should share in Discord. Do, yeah. I love the snow. I miss the snow. You don't get proper snow here. And especially, like, I don't think my body has ever adapted to being in the southern hemisphere, because I'm like, yeah, December, shouldn't it be cold and wintry and deep snow? Ooh, what's the cycle setting on this DOS box? Super speedy. Yeah, it's currently at 18,000 cycles, which is a bit much. But I copied this setting from my Struth game. And, you know, I was doing game development, so I was doing compiling, so I actually wanted DOSBox to be running fast, because I was sick of waiting for compiling to take forever. And it didn't matter for Struth, because that was like a turn-based game where you wait until you push the arrow key and then you move. But for this, maybe we want to lower the cycles a bit when we're running the game. I don't know. Maybe we could add a delay loop or something like that to make it work no matter what speed the game is running at. Long time no see. Guy cameras have been monitored because I go look all the time when I had no care in the world and I live my life. My family came to Australia over 100 years ago and my body still feels that way, Nico. Yeah, it must be genetic, I guess. Saw the stuff about insomnia before. Hope it gets a bit more bearable soon. Yeah, that was Jay, and also me, and many other people. It seems to be a problem these days. We're too much, like, it's too much of a rat race. We're pushing ourselves too hard, and you can't expect to do that and then also be able to gracefully shut yourself down at nighttime for sleep. Not built for this shit. Possibly controversial opinion, summer Christmas is better than winter Christmas. Having a long summer break over Christmas is great. Maybe? I always kind of resented that the company would shut down over the Christmas break, and I would effectively have to take my annual leave days over the Christmas break when it was too fucking hot and I didn't want to do anything. Like, I actually wanted to spend my annual leave when it was cooler and I could maybe go out and do stuff. Yeah, just trying to manage lack of light and short days. Warm weather person. 25 and low is ideal. 25 is alright, yeah. 30 can go get stuffed. Like, it's 4 p.m. now and it's night? Wow. So what have we done so far? We've discovered that Baby Neko bound the jump key to / for some reason. And you can climb up using single quotes. So we can actually climb up here and squeeze ourselves onto this ledge and see what's over this way. There we go, different screen. Bright colors. Check that out. What are we listening to? Oni. Hang on, I just want to have more Red Bull. Sounds like the solution is to go on holiday to Europe, or China, or Russia, or Canada. You know, if I did go back to China on holiday, I feel like I want to go to Harbin, where they do those ice sculptures and things, and it's really cold. That sounds nice. It's Tyrian, and I'll just lower it a little bit so you can still hear me. If companies would just stop trying to kill work from home, you could just go live where you want and still do the same job, right, Zul? Except, of course, you can't let them know that you've changed countries, or they'll start to pay you less, or whatever the rate is for that country. You're going to China after the New Year. Nice! Whereabouts? Do you have anywhere in particular planned? Send pictures. But yeah, you know, like, I remember Zul, in 2020 when, pandemic started, everyone was working from home. And then a couple of employees sneakily moved out to the country, or they changed states, and HR was very upset at this because I think it's like, you can actually pay people differently even on different regions in Australia. Like if you're not living in Sydney and having to pay Sydney prices, maybe you shouldn't be getting City Slicker salary. Maybe you should be getting less salary. And then we've got our poor testers in the Philippines who might be getting decent pay for living in the Philippines, but they're still doing work for an Australian company. Shouldn't we be paying everyone the same? And I get that global economics is going to be difficult, but it's still kind of shitty. Like, the company isn't actually doing this because they want everyone to get a fair price based on their cost of living. It's not that at all. If that were the case, then they would be giving us regular annual wage increases because of inflation, and then a nice big bonus on top of that for your career and things. No. It's just we can pay people less if they're working somewhere where the cost of living is lower. Shanghai, Beijing, Xi'an, and Shenzhen. Nice! That's a big tour. Hoping to go to Japan over the Easter break next year? No money. Yeah, it's on my bucket list as well, Japan. Eventually, maybe. It would be nice. The idea that pay should be based on your race, class, and location instead of, the work you accomplish is purely offensive to me, yeah. But, unfortunately, it's difficult, I guess. Although, different classes earning different amounts, that's sensible, because, you've got your rogues and your tanks and what have you. Maybe a paladin should earn more. It would be very cold. I would go for some cold right now. So, is my mouse in this window? Yeah. So what I was thinking was, if we can do a little bit coding today, I can call that a big accomplishment. And technically we've already accomplished something, because we've got this built as an exe now, and not just as running in QBasic. The whole Great Wall experience will be interesting in the snow and ice. Ooh, yeah, it could be a bit slippery. They'll probably grit it up, I guess, to make sure you don't slip when you're doing the wall itself. And frankly, when I went to the wall, it was so packed full of people, and it would probably still be packed full of people. If you do slip and fall, you're just going to bump into someone else. You're not going to hit the stone. As a dedicated healer, I demand more pay. Yes, more pay for healers! Mem's previous company told them they had to return because someone please think of the poor CBD walk-in businesses suffering because nobody's in the CBD. We pay all this money for this office space and it's empty. The absolute gall to claim that's a reason to force people to spend $50 and 10 hours a week on transport. Yeah, don't get me started on the return to office. It's purely because the CEO wants to strut around the office, granting people the privilege of his presence, and make sure that everybody is busy typing away at their keyboards. It's complete bullshit. If people work from home long enough, and we only interact with the CEO for these occasional all-handses, people might start to question what it is exactly the CEO does. What do they bring to the company? On the ice, it'd probably take down entire sections of tourists as everyone grabs everyone else. Excellent. They want to install spyware on work-from-home equipment now. It's crazy out there. They can and will. And basically, if you're using a company laptop, you should assume the spyware is already there. Frankly. At unnamed company, they've already been threatening to check the swipe card access logs to make sure that people are coming into the office the appropriate amount. And I can't imagine that's going to apply to the CEO, especially because he's fucking leaving. But yeah, it's just pointless policing of people's work for the sake of policing it. I did a Great Wall in January, and it was totally empty, but for my friend and myself. Snow wasn't an issue, but when I took my water bottle out for a drink, it had frozen solid, so maybe get a thermos. So what I reckon, I have this library. I should copy it over and see how I can actually use it. Because I don't know how to use it. I mean, there's like a .bi file that you load, and then some other stuff. Let me have a look. Doing stuff in my terminal. I mean, I guess I'll copy it into the game directory for now. Hang on, where is it? Downloads. Future. So I got this from Pete's QBasic site, which is a good resource for all things QBasic. And it's called the Future X3 library. It doesn't seem to come with like a license is the thing. Like, this is very much, here's some code and it's on the internet now, but I don't think it's properly like with any kind of open source license or anything that would grant you rights above copyright. So what I might do is not put it into my game directory, but just reference it outside. And that would probably be safest. QB1. Oh wait, there's a readme. Important, when compiling, you need to add the ES switch to allow the library to use EMS, expanded memory. This means that you cannot use the EA switch. Instead, you can use the routines in the library to access expanded memory. Okay. Yeah, personal equipment work from home spyware is a no-no. I would never, ever let them do that. If I end up on the job market at this point, I'll just make my own indie game dev company with blackjack and hookers. Twitch forced me to respell that? Are you not allowed to say hookers in this chat? Oh, you got a warning that it might be offensive. Yeah, I think those have been popping up now. As far as I know, all of my channel settings are pretty permissive. Like, I'm not auto-modding anything. But that might be something I need to check up on now that they've got this new pop-up. Yeah, some companies are actually trying to say like, oh, you want to use your phone, like Slack on your phone, then we need to have your phone as a managed device. And I don't want to do that because that means you can remotely wipe my device, and no. It did say, are you sure?
Are you sure? Think again.
My employer asked to root our phones to securely install company software. I said no. Wise choice, YGY. Yeah, like, you know, you've got CrowdStrike, right? Perfect example of recent anti-malware antivirus code that needs to be installed on all company devices, all servers, and okay, yeah, we pushed an update and now Windows won't start. Whoops. And that's just like the accidental uses. You've got the telephone companies in the US who have gladly installed backdoors for the FBI and the CIA, and now, oh, China is hacking us. I wonder how that happened. It's because you built a backdoor into everything. Alright, so if I copy this library to young future, how do you spell it? Future EX3? Okay. To young DOSbox. DOS, and we'll just put it in the root, and the name of it is too long for DOS, I think. Yeah, so it's future ~1 right now. Let's fix that. Move future CD back. There we go, future 3. So this is what I'm looking at basically. We've got some example code. We've got the lib files and the future.bi files. That's what we need to add to our code to get it working. So if we type QB71 future bi, it's like just all the declarations of all the subroutines that it's got. The head of the FBI recommends you put tape over the webcam. Yeah. There's a company out there that's also been doing facial and action recognition in camera feeds and builds activity profiles the entire time you're at work. Software for office cameras, but wouldn't surprise if they tried to force device cameras too. Yeah. There's way too much, like... It's snake oil bullshit as well, like... building a profile of people's face and mood and body shape and how they're moving. It's just fancy phrenology. But people will believe it because they've got AI in the name, and it lets them imagine that they're monitoring their employees more closely. I saw a really dystopian example where they've got a camera in like a Starbucks, and it's sort of monitoring, oh, you know, these customers have been waiting for 57 seconds to get served, and like, as if that's gonna be a perfectly accurate measurement. What if like someone's come in with their friend and they're just loitering by the door and they're gonna leave when their friend gets their drink? They were never gonna be a customer, but oh no, they waited for ages and didn't get served. That's a black mark for all of the employees at the time. It's gonna be so shit. Sorry, I think I took Vellesley too far, and this has turned into a work bit stream instead of a programming stream. Zul. This is fine. Bitching about work is very, very relevant to my interests, and I didn't have a lot of brain for programming anyway. I'm glad that you're all entertained and we're having a nice chat and bitch about work, because I can't actually... The secret is, I cannot actually do programming and talk to people at the same time. It uses the same part of my brain. So when I'm working and someone comes up to me and says something, I actually have to go "buh" for a little bit, context switch, and then go, "Oh, hi, Bashi, how are you doing? What did you want?" Because it's like, yeah, programming, it is language. It's using the language part of my brain, but it's using it in some weird, perverted way for programming stuff. It's not compatible with actually like talking and shit. Desk to pair programming. I think pair programming will work fine if it's someone you like and trust and is a cool person. But yeah, like the sort of official way to pair program is kind of broken. So, let's see if we can add this library. The way you include, like, we've got all of these declare sub stuffs, and I can get rid of that. Let's do some cleanup while we're here. We've declared a thing types. Cool. And then we've got some more common shared things. Yeah. A constant or two. Alright, and then it looks like this is where we actually start the code. Maybe even here is where we could include the library functions. And the weird way you do this in QBasic, or QuickBasic rather, it's not like a command where you go like, use library. No. You have to do it as a comment. So you go rem $include future 3 QB71 where are we? Future.bi. So you have to do it like that, I think. Let's look at the manual. Yeah, so you make a special comment and then say include this, and maybe that has to be single quotes. Meta command error. The fun and also horrible broken thing about QBasic and QuickBasic, the moment you move your arrow key, your cursor off a line, it will try and syntax check that line, and it will frequently yell at you for doing stuff. Okay, I needed a colon here. There you go. Pair programming is only vaguely useful below a certain skill level. Well, it can be good with like multiple skilled people if you're working on like something complicated. Like, you know, when you're just starting a new project, you might want to have everyone on board, and like, although it's going to be slower and less efficient, it might actually be cool for one person to drive the initial project setup of project structure, and other people can watch from the back seat as that happens. Maybe switch seats for a bit and let someone else drive, you know, stubbing out some of the CSS and things like that. It can be fine, but, you know, it's just like anything else in corporate programming culture. Like, if you're just going to mandate that this is good and therefore everyone must do it all the time, you're missing the point. I find I have two programming modes in my brain. There's a creative mode, where I have to think about how to go about creating a new thing, and a navigation mode, where I have an existing structure I'm familiar with, and I'm changing it or debugging it or whatever. I find I can listen to podcasts when I'm doing the latter, but not the former. Interesting. I only find it useful working through problems or training juniors, or for the rest of the time. One person can do that, though, while everyone else is doing other work. Well, that's the thing, Wob. Like, I don't know if it's necessary for everyone to be working in parallel all the time. I think it's okay if you've got some important keystone work where you're setting up that initial project structure or adding a new API, it's okay if everyone does it as a bit of group work, because you're gonna probably have to wait until it's done anyway. There might be something useful you could do as a little side job while you wait for that important work to be finished and merged, but you could also just have everyone else in the room with you and getting familiar with it while you're doing it. That's just my opinion. Lead or architect should bootstrap. Yeah, you could do that. Anyway, so this is how you include the definitions of the functions. But if there's only one single project everyone's working on, that's not a good business approach. Well, I mean, you'd have other teams doing other projects in my completely fictitious example here. But, you know, if you've got a little team that's starting up, maybe you'll do it as a group activity. Anyway, that is something each team should make their own call on in a conversation with their lead and just find whatever works for them. So we include those, but we also need to link in the library. So how do we do that? I think it's part of the making the exe command, right? Argument count mismatch. Cool. I think this is because we declared our own load screen, and the library has its own load screen as well. So we'll need to rename that. Yeah, all this is yellow because this is the stuff that got included. So where is our load screen? There we are. Draw screen, load screen. To be fair, the fictional example probably only takes an hour anyway. Yeah. But even then, the little team shouldn't be starting up until the basic framework is in place. You don't onboard people until you have something from work on. All valid, all valid. Yeah, it sounds like most of us here are software engineers or programmers of some kind. Imagine that, Zul. Why on earth would this stream attract so many of that weird type of strange person who likes to do coding? Especially because you don't need input on how to set up the bootstrap. Well, hopefully you don't. It probably actually, as a point against me, probably it would just lead to arguments about, we should use TypeScript, or no, we don't use TypeScript. Or like, couldn't we do this in Python? Let's do this in Python. Sometimes, yeah, you do want just the team lead to just set the ground and make the main decision there. Draw health bar, bar TPE. Draw health bar. Ah, yes, bar TPE. I think that might be bar type, but we'll call it bar TPE now. I'm here for the streamer more than the stream. Ah. No, you. So let's see. We've got draw screen here. What does it do? Case 0, screen just appears. Case 1, screen going left. For lap is 1 to 16, step 2. So I was very pleased with myself when I figured out you can actually scroll stuff in QBasic. Look at these comments. Pick up leftmost block of 14 squares, then shift right. As 55485 for full square may cause memory loss. In fact, you can bet your bottom dollar it will, unless I do something about it, like doing it in chunks. Thank you for the follow. Follows are anonymous here. Top oblong, middle oblong, bottom oblong. So it looks like I've just done like little chunks of like moving the screen and copying it bit by bit. Now fill in left-hand side. For Y lap is 1 to 9. Draw block and draw block. I don't know why I've got draw block 1 and then draw block 2 there. But it looks like an X coordinate, so I'm doing like a tile of 2 wide block column thing. And I'm going to guess that this scr function is getting me the tile data for a given screen. There's a portable edition of Barty now? Amazing. Oh wait, it's pre-installation edition in Windows, not portable. Yeah, I don't know what the PE stands for with the Windows PE stuff. Pre-installation environment, even. I'll get there eventually. Let me just finish burning that joke over there. No worries. I'm tired and half a brain. It's fine. We're all... It's too early. It's not even noon yet. So what we need to do here is need to rename this to... I don't know, draw game screen? Cannot edit while included lines from view menus on. Do you want to turn it off? Okay, yeah. Draw game screen. Kind of neat feature of the IDE. I renamed it there, and then the title immediately updated, and the F2 menu immediately updated. Unfortunately, the thing that didn't update is any references to it. So we need to now go Alt F S, Alt S F, there we go, and look for any case where we were using draw screen and change it. This is called refactoring, and it is the thing you will find yourself doing the most as a programmer. And I could just do like a find and replace all, but I don't really trust it. And it's kind of interesting to go and look at all of these cases where we've got it. And we've got to change the definition as well. That didn't update. So many draw screens. Let's look at this line. If drowning is less than or equal to 0, then drowning is equal to 0. Call draw game screen 0 to remove drown bar. So I guess drowning counts down? No, it counts up the more you're in water, and when you get out of water, it goes down, but it clamps itself at 0. Makes sense. Not even 8 PM here yet. Yeah, time zones. It's kind of nice that I am doing this morning stream, because often I get to miss out on a lot of the cool American peeps. Like, I do like having that regular slot at 7 PM my time, because it's like later in the day, and I've fed Poppy, and we're all good. But being able to do like early morning streams for me during the week does mean I get to see other people and hang out with yous. It's nice. Already miss IDE tools, refactoring tools on your behalf, Nico. Renaming was made so much easier with a good IDE. Yeah. Let me take my pills while I remember it. It's nearly lunch. Oh. Somehow I totally missed your response earlier to my asking if you'd ever mess around with Exalt use code on these streams. Good question. In QuickBasic's defense, this IDE was amazing for its time. It really is, yeah. Let me finish what I'm doing before I forget. Draw game screen, draw name screen, and I could copy this to the clipboard and replace it more easily. There we go. So, Stardrop, yes, Exalt. So, Exalt, for those people who don't know, is an open source re-implementation game engine for Ultima 7 and Ultima 7 Part 2, Serpent Isle. to make it easier to run it on modern systems. And it has a lot of extra extensions and niceties and quality of life things. It's pretty cool, although when I did my Let's Plays of them, I did it in DOSBox for the authentic feel. I have had a little bit of a look at Exult's, or rather Ultima's use code, and I had a look at the code that runs when you die in Serpent Isle, because I was trying to see if there's a way for me to die in the game and get teleported to Monk Isle, but then not talk to Karnax, or be able to exit the Karnax conversation without being teleported back, because that would be a really useful time skip for speedrunning purposes. And I had a look at it, and it's pretty hard to read, but I don't think there is. But yeah, it's possible, Stardrop, that maybe for one of these streams someday, I'll have a good look over it, because there's a lot to go through, and I could maybe annotate it a bit. I had a look around, and no one in the community's really made a big list of annotations about what every bit of the use code in the game does. Might be interesting to poke around with, yeah. Sounds like OpenTTD for Ultima. Yes, Ultima 7 anyway. And also Ultima 8, because our community member, Dr. Yasmin, has been working on a very ambitious project to basically re-implement, reinvent, port, whatever you want to call it, Ultima 8 Pagan and the story and the art and the gameplay into the Exult engine, and done some pretty amazing pixel art conversions so far. It looks like it could actually be a thing. Also, Ultima 6, which I haven't actually played yet, because I started my journey on 7. But Ultima 6, there's another project that people ported the Ultima 6 gameplay, story, whatever you want to call it, to Exult. So my fervent hope is that one day all games will be re-implemented using Exult. Ultima 9, Ultima 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It can all go in there. It'll be great. Amazing. My phone cut out as soon as you got to my question. I'm going to try going back with a clip. I have been working on it too. You should join us. Yes, join us now. Maybe when I have less on my plate. Jumping intensifies. Black box engine rewrites are genuinely fun once you get past the initial hump where nothing works. James, Anita Boot, sorry for the looky look. Don't be sorry. I'll hit you up about this afternoon as well. Bye everyone, have a great time zone. Bye Val. Bye bye. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So, yeah, we got draw game screen renamed. I think we will still have problems, because we still have a load screen to replace as well. And save screen. What else do they have that might be conflicting? No, I think it's just those two. Load screen, save screen. Yeah, okay. So, load screen. You know what, let's try and copy paste this. How do you do this? Shift and right arrow, and then Control Insert. QuickBasic IDE does not support Control C, X, and V. Nope, you've got to use the old school Control Insert, Shift Delete. Once you get used to it, it's fine. And in fact, we've got save screen right here. We may as well rename that while we're going at it. appreciate you, James. Oh, no, you. This would almost be faster on command line, but I don't think DOS has a replace in files command. I would do it. There's DGPP ports of common tools like sed and awk. Well, Game Dev Jeff, I have actually secured myself a version of Perl 5.8.8 compiled for DOS. I do want to give that a play at some point, because I love Perl. Even if it's an older version, it should still have a decent selection of stuff you can use. But like, I don't know how much of it will be useful for DOS development, because, you know, it's not just like, oh, you can use Perl or whatever other language you want, like Lua or JavaScript. You also still have to have an interface to DOS calls. Like, you want to be able to change video modes and write to the screen and shit like that. I don't know if that's possible unless you write your own library to do it, or Perl does have an XS module ability where you can link a C library into Perl with an adapter. But then I don't know how I would do that with this compiled for DOS version. Maybe I need to get like OpenWhatCom and do that careful library linking myself. And if I've got that open, then I may as well do it in C, because I also know C. So I don't know, but it's fun to play around with. Caught up. I kind of want to remake Ultima 7 using Exalt now. Yes, do it. That would be an ambitious project. Hadn't heard of GJPP Shiny. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Used by id Software for quick development. QBasic, my god. Welcome in, Avatar Protocol. How are you doing? We are modifying an ancient QBasic program of mine to see if I can make it slightly more modern with QuickBasic and compiling things to exes and adding library code and things like that. 10 print hello, 20 got a 10. Well, the fun thing is, Avatar Protocol, although you can use line numbers with QBasic code, you don't have to. And it's even got this immediate mode window at the bottom here, where you can just go while one print wind. Check that out. I now have to push Control Break, which is actually Control Scroll Lock for DOSBox. Or is it Function Scroll Lock? I've forgotten what it is. There we go. Control Scroll Lock did it. And by remake, I mean from scratch. Use the current game world to sketch out a map and then create it by hand. What does one mean, though? One is true. I don't think QuickBasic has like an actual true keyword, but a lot of people defined it. Yeah, we can't compile that right now. But a lot of people defined it as like a constant. For a test like that, it's easy. How do you just do that in the context of a program? Well, I need to fix my code at the moment before it will let me compile anything, so I'll get back to that. Yeah, caught up the chat. So, where were we? We were looking for load screen and save screen. And nope, that's the other code. We want, yeah, this one. So I had a function called save screen in my old game, but the library I want to use also has a function called save screen. So we are changing that to save game screen. Won't get confusing at all. And then we need to alt search find the old one and rename it. And while I'm at it, could we move this to just where the other ones are, that just for being neat? That would be great, thank you. So we just change all of these. Like, it looks like while you're playing it, whenever you transition between screens, it will save the data from the screen you left into your save game. So it's like constantly saving. Is Wend on its own enough of a catch-all immediate break condition? Can you just do that every time? Oh, same as the test, you just need to eventually have some kind of break condition inside the loop. Let me save. So, we used while wend there, which is here in the documentation. But you could also use do loop or for next. A for next loop is, it's much more bounded, like you actually are giving it an end condition. And I don't think you can realistically get an infinite loop from that. But the other two, do loop and while wend, they can both be used for infinite loops. So do until 0 for false, print, oh noes, loop. That would be enough for an infinite loop, but like it shows you here in the documentation, if you want to programmatically exit out of that, you do exit do. But here, this infinite loop will run forever unless I manually kill the program. So for me, that's control scroll lock. I made a choose your own adventure game back in the day. Cool. I wanted to, like, A, if they press option 1, go to 50. If they press B, go to 500. And without the line numbers, I don't know how to do that. Right, gotcha. We're on the same page here. So if we look at my terrible code from 95, we've got a movement function here. So in this case, I've done it as a bunch of if conditions. So if in string is X or joystick wants right, then handle all the player moving right stuff. If in string is Z or joystick wants left, then handle all the player moving left stuff. I probably didn't need to make this so repetitive back in the day, but this is young Neko doing his young Neko coding stuff. And it works, it's fine. So you can just do it like that, or I saw down here somewhere. Yeah, so I had a T command to, like, add stuff into the game, like enemies. And here we're doing select case, add thing mode. So there you've got a switch, a select case statement, and you can have each sub-bit there. And yeah, like, instead of go to a line number, you, like, if you wanted a big block of code to do stuff elsewhere, you might do call. I mean, you can actually omit the call statement, and you can probably just go draw block, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, I've got call draw block. And it just does this. It's call name argument list. Name is the name of the basic sub to be called. Argument list is the variables or constants passed to the sub. And if I look at the implementation of draw block, oh yes, that's a big ol' list of stuff, isn't it? So draw block takes 3 parameters, an X, Y, and the ID of the block, I guess. And depending on that, it's gonna dump some bytes onto the screen based on an array that I've got. A whole bunch of repetitive code here. You wouldn't do this normally, but this is the way I found to do it back in the day. That's interesting. Some of these wall types are actually doing 2 sprite render calls. And I'm like, I'm doing pset for the first one, and then anding or xoring things afterwards. I guess as a way to generate additional tile types, just reusing the primary ones. Like I'm going wall 1 and wall 3, or wall 1 XOR wall 4. Interesting. What is self-documenting assembly? That sounds like it writes its own comments against itself. There's no commenting bad program. No, there's totally comments. That said, I agree with Dijkstra that GoTo breaks structured control flow. Basic doesn't give you many alternatives, mind. Code shouldn't be commented. I write all my programs in self-documented. Ah, I see. I'm of the view that comments that explain the code does are necessary because code should be written to be self-documenting, but comments that explain why the code does are valuable. Yes, so that's the important thing. Some people will say like, oh, you know, my code's fine. It's like I've used good names for things and I've got type declarations and things, but you also kind of need to explain like, this is why we did this. We chose to do this not because we thought it was easy, but because not because it was easy, but because we thought it would be easy. Hairball, welcome in. I like making things up that sound funny and kind of correct, but not really. Because it was hard. Yes, things. I'm still very much not awake. It's a miracle that I'm here with you all just talking about weird programming stuff. I want to go back to bed and have a nap, but I'm forcing myself to be awake so that I can get a better sleep schedule. Self-documented code is meant to be an oxymoron type joke. Kind of, yeah. I often have to read the code, and I find that most of the time it's written by an idiot, and by that I mean me. I wrote it. I don't think the same way I did it when I wrote it. Yeah, Hairball. This code we're looking at here is from Neko, who was 15 years old or so, from like 1990s, and oh boy, there's a lot of crazy stuff that modern day Neko wouldn't really do, but it works. It actually does work. Let's try and see if it works. Run it. Print hello. Prints hello to console. Zul, no. The best thing to do, right, is you keep that comment, and then later when the requirements change, you println goodbye. Or you println hello var, and hello var is later changed to goodbye. And now the comment describes what the code was doing, but not what it is doing. If it's high-level code, maybe get self-documenting works, but if it's assembly things, can get opaque. Yeah, Game Dev Jeff, I have 4 bytes of assembly in my Struth game. Bang, Struth. And the purpose of that 4 bytes of assembly is purely to force the program to exit immediately. But I have like a good page of comments explaining why I couldn't just use normal QBasic code to do this, and how this code is actually working, and how to call it. Things. Continue game. So yeah, this is the game. Check it out. I kind of have to hold down the left key for a bit before the character starts walking, because keyboard buffer. And my hope initially was I could use this library that we're adding to read the keyboard state directly and detect, you know, multiple key presses at once, and then finally this little guy would be able to jump and move at the same time, which is kind of important for a platformer, as it turns out. Ooh, game. Hello, Sonneveld. Yes. I don't think you have to go to Uncle Bob levels of function extraction, but pulling out messy or complicated blocks into single-use functions can be surprisingly effective for readability. Yeah, totally. Like, when I was doing Struth, firstly, it forced me to modularize my code because 64K memory limits, and I couldn't compile the damn thing unless I broke stuff into modules. But also, it was nice for me to have a utils module that had all my utility code in it, and a random module that had my weird pseudo-random number generator code in it with a bunch of random functions that all started with the word random. Yeah, things. So this is the game, as it were. And can I? Yeah, I can actually pick up and drop items. So I have 2 spots for my hands, and I can come over here and pick up this potion. And the game is actually saved, like, as soon as I left this level, or this screen, and got onto this screen, or go from this screen to this screen, it saved the game data, which is pretty cool. Nine. You okay, woman? My assembly is self-documented because it's object-oriented. Related, I also mostly subscribe to the belief that if you're more than 3 indents deep, you probably need to refactor. Yes. Boop, 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 boop. What I enjoyed a bit, actually, with... Again, I'm going back to Struth because that was the most recent big QBasic project I did. What I ended up doing, because I found some of the syntax so annoying, like in QBasic, you can't do I++ to increment the variable I. You actually have to type out I equals I plus 1. And that's fine when your variable's called I, but when your variable is called player x coordinate, it gets a bit repetitive. So I made a tiny little function called incr that takes another variable by reference and it adds 1 to it. And similarly, I missed Perl's die function, so I made a function called die, which will print an error message in red and then exit the program. And just you compile up a bunch of these little functions, and suddenly you're expressing your code in a much more concise way, which is still readable because hopefully you've picked fairly readable function names. Any plans to implement a screen buffer? Please. Look, young Neko kind of understood that double buffering existed, but had no idea how to implement it. It was complicated. And actually, for this particular game, I'm not sure if we can do double buffering with screen 13. If I go F1, index, screen function? No, I think screen statement? Yeah. So for VGA or MCGA, we're using screen 13 for this game, I think, which is 320 by 200 and 256 colors. But there's no information about multiple pages. Now, I think you can with this fancy library that I've got, but back in the day, absolutely no. Like, there's no way to do this from just regular old QBasic. If I go back 1 level or 2, for the CGA and EGA graphics, I forget which one we used for Struth. It might have been this one. Why does it not mention it? Do I have to go to a different... Yeah, we've got active page and visible page. Can I look at details? Syntax notes. Yeah, see adapters and displays for the valid ranges for A page and V page for each graphics adapter. EGA screen modes. VGA. Okay, yeah, there you go. Screen 13 had exactly one page available. But on Struth and the Christmas Tree thing that we saw earlier, I used EGA mode. I don't know which one it was actually. EGA mode 0? Yeah, I think so. Because that gave us 40 by 25 text, 16 colors, and 8 pages. So you could actually do double buffering. I don't really enjoy bouncing around one-off functions to understand what something does. Yeah, that's why, like, you gotta pick something small and neat and name it well. And in this case, it's good for me because I know the functions that I've defined. I would do that less if I were making something that other people had to collaborate on. Because then I'm making a little sort of pseudo-language that only I understand, and other people will have to understand if they want to be able to reuse those functions. What is a screen buffer? Good question, Avatar Protocol. So you have to allocate memory in the graphics adapter or in RAM or whatever to hold all of your pixels. And depending on how much memory your graphics adapter has and how much memory you're using for the screen, you might be able to fit more than one copy of the screen in memory. And this means you can have a screen that you're writing to that isn't the screen that the person at the keyboard is looking at the time. So it's used for double buffering or triple buffering or all sorts of other tricks and techniques to let you speed up your drawing calls. I don't know if you saw the Christmas tree earlier, but it's kind of slow when it's drawing each branch of the pine tree, because I'm doing lots of little draw line calls, and I left it that way for fun. But if you wanted like more quick response times, you would draw it off screen and then flip the pages so that the one that you're looking at is the one that you just rendered previously. And that's how games get much smoother animation and scrolling. Fuzzy line ultimately where the size of an extracted function could be. The thing is dealing with more than a few locals used in that code, and your code's longer than 10 lines. It's a candidate, not necessary, but you have to pass those requirements at least. Sorry, I did mean double buffering. My functions are never more than one line, but I exclusively use globals. Sounds like those JavaScript packages is true, is false, etc. Kind of, yeah, Zol. Is number. Built-ins? Never heard of them. More charitably, I figured a functional language of some kind. Yeah. Functions never accept arguments. You set a global variable and call a function. I kind of leaned into that star drop with a bunch of the functions I was writing in the QBasic code for Struth, purely because it was getting to the point where I couldn't return complicated values, and it was better to have a function that affected some global state as a side effect. Horrible as that is for sort of modern programming, I know, but it was easier than trying to pull out individual integers and things that I wanted, like pass by value and return by value. The flickering, yeah, it stops the flickering. I've been deeply embedded in procedural and OOP these last years. I have to actively think about the functional approach these days. So that's the screen statement. And where are we? We managed to get this working with the library code added in, but that's just this line. So this line is just adding in the declarations that there are these other library functions that we're going to use. It's not complete until we compile it with that stuff. So let me have a look. When compiling, you need to add the E switch to use the library. Use the EA switch. So how do we do this? Like, run. So if we're making the exe file now, we apparently need ES switch. That's capital E lowercase s. And I think we need to do /L. Future 3 QB71 future, I think. Unknown command line option L. Lovely. Wait, did that do something? That's a bit mean. Like, if it immediately dumps me back here and I don't get a good chance to see the error message if there was one. I've dumped the cycles down, so maybe we can see. Oh wait, no, that's running it. No, stop. I wanted to make an executable. So it's ignored the L option for BC. I've been out of the basic scene for a long time. What are far and near strings? Same segment or another segment? Memory segment. Did it need to be managed that finely in QBasic? It needs to be managed that finely in DOS, Zul. Unless you're using a DOS extender like DOS 4GW, which the funkier games like Doom used, you had to keep some of your strings close and some of your strings far. All of your data, in fact. The DOS memory model, as I mentioned earlier, is absolutely insane. And I made the mistake of getting caught up in the music and looking at chat. And did that actually work? Okay, so it failed there, but the linker does seem to do stuff. Libraries.lib. No, because it should be using the other lib, the future 3 lib. Yeah, okay, so that's worked, but only by virtue that it didn't actually add the library. So how do I tell it, like, we're using this library? Set paths? We've got C, QBXlib, C, future 3 QB71. C, future 3 QB71. Yes? On the make.exe output, there's no space after the bas file name and the start of command line options. You got that a lot with the old school DOS programs, Game Dev Jeff. Like, it'll just immediately go into the file name from the switch. I think that's normal. The confusion of starting a new level, flying a carrot, shooting bananas. Yeah. Tyrian 2000. Amazing game. So... brain. Come on, James. Do the braining. Like, we can open we can load a file, and we can load the future.bi file. We might have to look at some examples. You have to eat your vegetables. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I actually remember something that I set up with the other game where I had to load the editor with a particular command line switch. If I save all and then exit, yeah, there we go. So we ran qbx.exe with /l blah 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 qbx.lib. So we might have to add another thing to that to load the future.lib, future.qlb file, I guess. I'm gonna edit it outside of DOS. I think the carrot even existed pre-2000. Yeah, I didn't play the pre-2000 version. I'd really like to know what sort of drug-fueled journey the Tyrian level developers experienced as they progressed through the game, yeah. I think QBasic hides all this, but it restricts your program size. QuickBasic lets you work with multiple segments to access more code and data. Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure. But the annoying thing, Sonneveld, is that the QuickBasic IDE will happily let you just sort of wing it and have multiple segments and what have you. But then when you compile it to an exe, it's suddenly complaining that, like, oh, you've ran out of memory, and you have to start breaking things into modules. Might make sense in linking with Microsoft C code, which use similar memory models. Yeah, probably. You can definitely link with other Microsoft stuff. Tyrian has such a sad ending. I don't remember it. First professional programming work was with MFC and Borland, so I think the memory model might have changed by then. I think, yeah, when you had MFC, you're doing for Windows, and the memory model is a lot more sane. Anyway, let me edit my run command. To include another /l c qbx, not qbx, future 3 qb71 future dot qb qlb qlx, what was it? Future 3 QB. So they've got future.obj and future.qlb. Yes, QLB. So if I run this now... No? Oh, you put the EA switch there, do you? Or the ES switch. Which was the one we were supposed to do? Readme. ES. Alright. But then why are we not allowed to use /l twice? I mean, that looks correct, right? It's just that we're using /l and then another /l. Yeah, it was early Windows for my first job, or modern Windows 95. It says you can't even remember the name of the guy who was at the beginning was your best friend and got murdered. You just end up this depressed, hollowed out shell of a person from the way it's written. Sucks. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, like, when I'm playing these sort of games, when it's like, here's your best buddy, he's your best buddy in the whole world, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna kill him off, aren't you? For drama and emotion. But like, I don't really have a strong emotional connection to the guy, even though like it's written like I do. And then after a couple of levels, you've completely forgotten about it. So it's kind of breaking the fourth wall there a bit. Right, can we just run that? Controller 4. Valid options. L, lib. Why would I not be able to specify L twice then? QBX L multiple libs. SQL error, MySQLi. Access denied for user DBO infong at perforum.net. Using password, yes. An SQL error occurred while fetching the page. Please contact an administrator if this problem persists. Thank you, PHBB. That's great. Pete's QBasic site is broken. You'll have to combine the libraries into a new one. What? Hell no. Okay, but I remember I had to use this qbx.qlb for some reason when I was doing Struth, but maybe I don't have to use it for this game. So maybe we remove that and we will just depend on the future QLB. And maybe that will work? I mean, it's running. RAP Jackie, yeah. It's definitely broke the fourth wall. It actually says way back in episode 1. I'm guessing it doesn't support semicolons. I don't know, probably not. I remember finding this annoying when trying to build Struth. Isn't QLX for using those quick libs or something like that? Yeah. The quick libs are something like you need in some situations or not others. I forget. Let's just try F5 running it. Read me a story. An interfate script from slipping deep into your mega sound chair to the dang line. Alrighty, thank you. I will get round to that momentarily. And boost the cycles up so we can load the game quicker. Okay, I mean, this is working. And can we make an exe from this? Presumably we don't need... I wonder if the QLB file is just like a reference to tell you, hey, there's another library file here. We could have a look at QLB... future QLB, maybe a binary file. See it anyway? Yes. I don't know, but I'll try removing this because we've put it on the main command line already, and try to make exe after I reduce the cycles. So we're building that. What I really need is like. The way I set it up with Struth for the command line was kind of necessary because I needed a make clean step. The way this is working, if this step fails, the next step, the linker, might actually still succeed because I still have an object file lying around in the directory, I think. It's kind of balls. Game Dev Jeff. Something. Thank you. One moment. Don't get distracted. We're gonna... yes, it actually linked future.lib there. I saw a linker file. So it's smart enough that if you give it the QLB, it knows that there's an equivalent .lib file that it needs to use for the linker, and we basically have we basically have no proof here. We have no proof that that has actually compiled, except that pom.exe has a timestamp of 1236. So that might have worked. And we need pom load anyway. Oh, but pom load wasn't using the library. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. If I do overhaul this to have like sprite loading using this library, then I probably won't need this whole separate loader anyway. And I can just have one executable, which will be simpler. Wayback has that Pete's link cached. Not sure if it's useful though. Sent to you in Discord. Thank you so much. I am reaching sort of the limit of my ability here. But hey, we've got the game running as an exe, and the library is theoretically linked. That's a good start. Let me pause for a moment here. We will do a git. One moment. So then the stuff that we've modified, I'm committing the .exe to git as well, which I probably shouldn't, but whatever. We're doing things more scuffed today. So if I... Oh, qbx.ini. Okay, so that was the file. And sorry you can't see this. I don't want to switch captures to my terminal. It's a binary file anyway. But yeah, the qbx.ini file has saved the thing that we just put in the IDE, where it's linking against that other stuff. Cool. So git commit maybe added future 3 lib. And I will go read the thing now. Which I guess we could. Oh, bum, I have a meeting. Back later if you're still streaming. Oh, no worries, Stardrop. I'll do your story time, but I guess you can catch up with it later. Let's copy that link. And we'll open it in a new private window, maybe. From slipping deep into your mega century. To the dang line. Oh, it's not even... It's not very big, but we shall read it out because channel points have been redeemed, and according to the ancient contract, we must read a little story. And it would be nice if, when I zoom in with the text size, we kept wherever I was. You read that? It's still pretty damn small. Fandom is on a quest for your opinions on upcoming movies. No thanks, Fandom. The end. Slipping deep into your mega sound chair, you sip down an Insta-Coco from your dispenser. The whole universe is erupting in a fanfare of joy and hope. Still, one burning thought enters your mind. Why am I reading this? If only you could find a way out of this crazy universe and avoid the horrible, smiling face of Transon Locke. The universe has asked you to save them one too many times, and you've decided to hide out on Tyrian and reflect on your Hasdura friend who died way back in episode 1. Dang, can't even remember his name now. But then, incoming message from Vrikamod. Want to know a trick? In the URL, insert anti before fandom and hit enter. I shall trust you on this, Avatar Protocol. Oh, neat. They've basically de-shitified the site. Neat. I wonder if the owners of fandom would have words about this. Good thing we don't know anyone who used to work at fandom who could tattle on us. But he wouldn't. He's a cool guy. There's a browser extension you can get to do it automatically. Cool. A lot of it's become a trend that like these popular sites need extensions and alternate versions like VX Twitter and things like that to avoid this kind of stuff. Pretty sure about 0.0001% of people know about this. Fandom is egregious. Everyone's trying to move off it, but the SEO is strong. It is. It's really strong. Back to game. So we've got that. And I kind of want to see... no, we don't have it loaded. Okay, Alt-F... load file? Include... Start BI... future BI. So this is all the functions we can theoretically call now. Is there something that we can just kind of test? I mean, we want this ideally for the keyboard reading code. So maybe there's something there we can grab. Might have to consult their HTML file for the documentation. Yeah, okay, so there's a clear key buffer and a get key percentage. Percentage, of course, in QBasic, meaning this is returning an integer value. Final straw for me was when they added auto-playing videos to the top of every page to take up half the screen on mobile, fixed position so they follow you down the scroll, and have a tiny close button that's easy to miss in touch. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Man, someone is mowing their lawn. And when they're not mowing the lawn, they're using the leaf blower to blow all the chopped grass around. Alright. Running low on power, but this is good. We've made progress. Let's just try and get this key. Yeah. So what we could do is go back to our main BAS file. Okay, so movement just takes a variable called ins, which is what the key was. That's good, because it means we can reuse this movement file regardless of how the keyboard key was sourced. So if we go back here and look for where it was called, movement, call movement, ins. So where am I getting ins from? You would think I would have it immediately before calling movement, but no. No, young Neko was but a mere kitten when this was written, and it could be anywhere. There we are. Ins equals in keys. So what if we go key equals get key? Oh, whoops. Key is a reserved keyword. Huh. We'll just call it K. Yeah? Key, get key. +1 for fandom being terrible. They removed a site a friend was using after a copyright complaint. The complaint was for a differently spelled movie, and this was a game project, but I guess fandom agreed to it anyway. Yeah. Big movie will always win out over the little guy. Does this work? Like, we're calling the function and we're throwing the value away. But... oh, right. We have to load our loader. Okay, no, this is fine, this is fine. I'll fix this later. Right now, we just want to confirm that this is working at all. Alright, I mean, theoretically, this is calling getKey, and we're not getting an error. But we're not doing anything with it. So I need to figure out what getKey actually returns. If I remember correctly... stop here? Yeah. If I remember correctly, I read somewhere in the library documentation, which I will call up elsewhere, open future 3 future spelling. Yeah. I can probably share this. Let's read it together. Boop, ba-doop, boop, boop. Didn't they also steal whole wikis? Like, kick out the admins and take over themselves because the content is all free use? Yeah, probably. Something like that. So, Future Library 3. Copyright 1999 Future Software. Visit our homepage at qb45.com. So, we had a get key. Get key gets the key pressed very fast. Key pressed is get key. Gives you a code higher than 0, lower than 128 when a key is pressed. The same value plus 128 when it has been released. This is much faster than normal in keys, without the delay when it is first pressed, and you don't have that irritating noise when it is pressed if you use $= equals in keys, key pressed equals get key. Okay, so we already have an in keys call, which is great. If that's to remove that irritating noise, I don't know what that references, but okay. So then presumably the value of k, if k is greater than 0, and k is less than or equal to 128, then, and if, presumably we want to convert it from an ASCII value back to the actual character. Maybe it's the too many inputs to process beep? Could be. What we can do is, was it ask? A numeric value that is the ASCII code? No. We want churs, don't we? One character string whose ASCII code is the argument. So, that means we can go in string equals chur string of kpling. And that should convert the output of getKey into what the rest of the game was expecting with the historical code. And thus, maybe this change is all we need? Maybe? Oh, I need to bring back the game window. There. So that's the change we're making here. And in theory, this could work, perhaps? Some people believe? Yeah, they're running the leaf blower now. They run that leaf blower way too much. And it's one of those big backpack ones that's incredibly loud. I hate it so much. X. Z. Enter. Space. Okay, this is fine though. What we can do is break. QBasic and QuickBasic are pretty cool in that the IDE comes with a built-in debugger. You know, you can just step through things. You can mess around with your code while it's still running. And in some cases, you don't need to even restart. So what we can do is put a breakpoint there, and then if that return value is actually something that's valid, we can grab it and see what it is. So now I'll press Z. Cool, we've broken. And in our immediate mode, I can actually go print K is semicolon kpling. K is 44. And then on our ASCII page thing, .44 is a comma. So whatever this getKey function is returning, it isn't just the ASCII value, which I suppose would make sense because there's some keys on the keyboard like Shift or the function keys, which, you know, they don't have an ASCII equivalent, and maybe getKey is designed to let you hook into those keys. So what we probably want to do is, I mean, if I have more mana available to me, I would make a whole big debugging program that would let me push a key and see what the key code is, and then I'll put that back in the code. But for now we can just debug this, and just make like left, right, up, down work, and jump. So let's see. So, yeah, that was 44 was Z. So we'll just kind of hack it in. Select case K, case 44 ins equals Z. Case else, we can actually do other stuff here. We could be like, if you don't recognize the keyboard key, we'll beep, we'll print K is K, K. In fact, good. The beep line here, and then we can put the breakpoint on the beep. End select. And I actually want to delete this line. So now if we press Z, Woohoo! We're walking forwards. And like, if I hold it down... Yeah! But X doesn't do anything. But we've got this thing to break on us, and we can view the output screen with F4. K is 45. So case 45 ins equals X. Continue running, please. Now we can walk left and right, much more like an action game would be expected to do. Yay. No more keyboard buffer. I mean, okay, there was a little buffer there. I don't know why that was happening, but that's for future me to debug. Let's get jumping working. 43. Huh. Well, okay, I guess I better put them in order. Case 43. Woohoo! We can move left and right, we can jump, and, most importantly, which kind of stopped this game being playable unless you plugged in a joystick. Okay, no. Oh. We can't jump and move left at the same time. Oh, wait, we almost did it. What if I jump and then... Oh, okay. I can press jump and then move left, but I think I could more or less do that with the original code. It's just that there's that annoying pause from the keyboard buffer. Yep. The keyboard buffer was preventing me from immediately moving, and it's kind of a little janky now as well still. But hey, we're just learning this library. It might still be good for us. And let's do these last two controls so we can climb up this rope. Which was... quote mark, I think? $40. Cool, we've attached to the rope. Oops, no, that's semicolon. I don't want to bind anything to semicolon right now. Slash is 53. So now we can climb up and down ropes. Ooh, Alone in the Dark music. God damn, I love Alone in the Dark. I could replay it. It's not that long once you know where to go. I did it in like 3 streams several years ago. But now we can actually kind of wander around the level a lot more easily. It's not letting us do multiple keys at a time, though. Like, it's gotten rid of the keyboard buffer problem, which is good. Oh, enter. That's fine. We got rid of the keyboard buffer problem, but we're still kind of dependent on one action at a time. Like, if I want to jump up there, that's impossible. Look, like, I'm not even jumping that far. Where else can we go? Can we climb up that rope? Yeah. How was I intending to make some of these jumps? That looks impossible. Can fall down here? I mean, that rope up there is... that is literally impossible. There's no way. Ow, 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 ow. Whoop. Like, the jump takes us up 3 blocks. So if I did this... Nope. We bonked our head. Nope. Left, then jump? No. So it could do some work. I think I can grab this key if I'm really fast. But I have to rebind H. 35. And I'm sure there's a better way to do this than a big hard-coded selection. They probably do correspond to their ASCII values somewhere. But we're not going to figure that out right now. We're hacking stuff onto a very old game engine. Jump, hand. There we go. So we swapped the potion for the key. Oh, hang on, we actually managed to get up there. That's pretty impressive, really. Can I grab that rope? Maybe not. What's down here? Snakes! Ah, snakes. I have a feeling that a lot of these levels I made them just, with the debug editor, which you can access via F10, I think? Oh, but I don't know what the keyboard thing for F10 should be, so never mind. Figure that out later. Oh, hang on, I walked straight through that. Oh, I think it worked anyway because we were using in keys and then get key afterwards. So yeah, this is the debug mode where you can just fly around the map wherever you want and actually edit the level. You can use like backspace to clear a chunk and things like that. But let's turn it off. See what's down here? Ah, yes, this whole bunch of water. Yep. So I think I made it. Yeah, you can jump out of water. Don't know how you're going to get that key. Probably haven't thought it through much. But that's the thing. That's the stream, I think. We're at 1 o'clock today. I haven't eaten. I need to eat. Eating is important. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I will possibly continue more with this. I don't know. It's a little disappointing that we couldn't get multiple keys detected at the same time. So maybe off stream I'll just test to see if that is even possible. But we did manage to get this built as an EXE. And yeah, it feels like the solution is close. And we've got the extra stuff in the library, so we can also, do graphics differently. We might even be able to double buffer despite it being VGA mode. Or maybe I want to turn this into an EGA game, I'm not using that many colors. I could probably scale things down a bit. But yeah, that'll do. That's pretty good, I think. Who do I want to raid? Maple's on. What's Maple playing? It's tagged DOSember, so it's probably a DOS game. Oh, she's in like an hour-long stream, but not playing something right now. This is fine. I have no brain power left, and should raid out for my own sanity's sake, so we'll do that. She just raided out. Okay. Wait, no. She's raided out to someone called Dan the Band, and their stream title is Hang with Julia and Play Some New Music. So they might be doing more DOS stuff. Video game music, English, retro games, soundtracks. Oh, wait. I've got the perfect raid target. Tondagosa is playing Ultima Underworld. Yes, we love us a bit of Ultima here. Tondagosa is another cool retro game streamer. And Ultima Underworld is very cool. I haven't played Ultima Underworld 1. I've played Ultima Underworld 2. But we can go say hi. It will be good. This music is melting my brain. Let me turn it off. It's still going in my head. It's still going in my head. You can't hear it anymore, I think. There we go. It finally stopped. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for being here, Sonneveld. I'm going to raid Tonda now before he raids out. And here's a thing if you want to use it. Thank you so much for being here. Shit, who? Alchemical, thank you for the resub. Archim Havok, thank you for the raid. You're all really awesome people. And DOSember is a thing that we're doing. You can see it over at DOSember.com. Merch. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. I'll probably see you Monday at 7 p.m. my time, 8 a.m. UTC, for some Ultima 9. Yes. Bye-bye. Take care.